Those are the headlines. I'm Rosemary Church. Next, their name is synonymous with hedonism and heavy metal. Revealed looks at the rock legends Iron Maiden as they head out on an audacious world tour.
An Iron Maiden show is a theatre in your head. That's what it is. The reaction of the kids on their faces shows that they get it.
33 years ago, the founder members of Iron Maiden were little more than kids themselves when they came together in London and formed what would become one of the world's biggest rock bands. With almost 100 million albums sold, Iron Maiden have influenced a generation of heavy metal fans and continue to reach new audiences.
We've been together for a long time, and we know how each other think, we give each other space, and the time we spend together we enjoy, and it just works. There's no real rules, it just works.
Maiden's latest tour has landed in South America, where the metalheads are heading close to meltdown.
Brazil! These dates were selling out in advance, and quite frankly, we didn't expect this. And I felt like a guy selling stocks or something. I was like, sell, sell, sell.
Our fans, you get the feeling they'd die for us. And I think some of them probably would.
In the Colombian capital, Bogota, fans have waited a lifetime for the band's first visit to their country.
You are history tonight, my friends, all of you.
You have to take an audience and you have to grab them and hold them in a place where they feel it's safe to go absolutely bonkers.
Iron Maiden have been touring the world for years, but their current tour is unique for two distinct reasons. They have their own plane, and lead singer Bruce Dickinson is flying it.
Well, welcome to Ed Force One, named by Iron Maiden fans. It's a Boeing 757 airliner. It carries Iron Maiden, the management, the band, the crew, and all of its equipment around the world, and then some. I'm Bruce Dickinson, and I'm going to go fly it. So here we are, Ed Force One. Well, it's not exactly gold taps and everything else and jacuzzis. We've got some quite nice seats here for the band and VIPs like managers and people like that. And this bit is the magic bit. All the equipment is actually contained in fire containment bags like this. You know, people are not all one-dimensional. The idea that you are the person that appears on stage with Iron Maiden for me would be absolutely terrifying, because what appears on stage is a sort of temporary possession by the music.
If you went to see an Iron Maiden concert, somebody next to you said, oh, by the way, your flight home is being piloted by that guy, then you'd have second thoughts about getting on that plane, I think.
There's a different kind of thing to being on stage, where everything is about drama. You know, flying an airliner, everything is about trying to prevent drama.
It's the day after Iron Maiden's first ever gig in Colombia, and the band are setting off for their next stop, Brazil.
What day is it? You're asking the wrong guy. It's Friday. Yes, the day after our wonderful show in Bogota last night.
The audience reaction in Colombia was just incredible. I think one of the best ever. The shows, I've got to say, have been fantastic, but the travelling is hard.
Well, if you got your own 757, you can pretty well country hop and continent hop as you wish.
Well, this is a fantastic way to travel, obviously. We've got a lot more leg room. It's not a luxurious thing. We're not sitting here in a lap of luxury. We're actually working.
It means you get to more fans in different places than you ever could before. So we're very happy with it.
The band kicked off their tour in Mumbai and have already been on the road for 28 days.
OK, we started off in England. To there. Bombay. And then we went down to there. Eastern Australia. And then up to there. Blimey, we went up, must have come this way. other side of the world.
So we've been everywhere, really.
They're all shattered at the moment. You know, I mean, a lot of big shows in a very short time. I'm a Yorksman, I don't get tired.
6 hours pass, and the Maiden band and crew land in Brazil. In Sao Paulo, the fans gather in such great numbers that the band must be escorted out of the airport via the presidential exit.
Let's go.
It's Saturday morning in Sao Paulo, and a precious day off for the band.
And we can't get out of the hotel because there's a load of people around there. And I like to walk around, and we're in the middle of a kind of a building site, and there's nowhere to go. Dave Murray! Dave!
Most European countries, North America, you can walk around town, but here we're kind of pretty much stuck in a hotel. But that's life, you know, that's life.
The fans may be determined, but Gers is even more so. He decides to sneak out the back for a walk.
Is there anywhere to walk up here? We're out. Let's go. Look at this. I mean, you don't find that in England, do you? Incredible.
Freedom is fleeting. Pretty soon, fans start to spot there is a Maiden member on the loose.
I generally find if you walk towards them, they kind of run away. Oh, there he goes. He's running in front of them. 3 caffè con leche. You can't get annoyed about it, really. If I had a penny for every time this happened, I'd be a millionaire. And you know what? If you make somebody smile, it can't be bad, can it, really?
I want a picture. Yes. I am a cop in Brazil.
Where's your badge?
For a band with an obsessive following, there's an awkward relationship between dedication to the fans and a distinct lack of interest in the fame that comes with it.
I think one of the things about Iron Maiden is they absolutely do not want fame.
It's not me, it's not the rest of us really, either, you know. We don't want to be celebrities, we just want to be musicians.
Back at the hotel, it's bassist Steve Harris's turn to battle his way out.
It's standard procedure, really. You know, we come out of the hotel and there's loads of fans hanging about and they're all on autographs and everything, but most of the places are not too bad.
Harris has flown his home team out to Brazil to play against a local team.
I don't know who we're playing or what kind of standard it's going to be.
Sing it!
That's great.
Man, it's Iron Maiden.
Nice one. Don't tell anyone. Keep it yourself. How are you doing?
Get out of it!
We're winning. 1-0.
We've been out for our little stroll.
In part 2, it's showtime, but rain puts a dampener on the mood backstage. British band Iron Maiden are in Brazil, and they can't move for fans. The group has a broad international appeal, but the South American fan base is its most fanatical. This dates back to their largest ever gig at the Rock in Rio festival in 1985. But the story begins about 10 years before that, in the back rooms of the pubs of London's East End.
Yeah, I mean, we formed in '75, and basically, I mean, it was a real tough time.
I first came across the band about April '79. First time I saw him, Steve was singing, and believe me, Steve can't sing. So, what I really did think was so special was the way that Steve and Dave just looked the audience in the eye. I'd never seen that with that intensity. But the connection, the eyeball-to-eyeball connections, and it was the same when I first saw them, the same to this day. I think it's that sort of attitude which separates Maiden from everyone else.
Smallwood has stuck with the band ever since.
Mr. Rod Smallwood, I love you more than... Are we cool or...?
We're always cool.
Oh, we're cool, yes, sir.
He may be loath to admit it, but Smallwood has become something of a celebrity himself.
I've always got ambition for this band, and I think I always will have. I mean, that's my job, that's what I'm supposed to do. And they don't complain, so we still do it.
Today, Iron Maiden are filling stadiums across the globe and playing to crowds far exceeding their wildest expectations. Today in Sao Paulo, the streets are lined with fans, queuing for a spot at the front of the 50,000-strong stadium. Backstage, the band are smuggled in.
War wound, boys and girls.
Meanwhile, the stadium fills with excited fans.
It's going to be a little crowded backstage. Stage left here, we have Yannick's rig, Steve Harris's world. If you watch your step in here, this is Nico's drum world.
Step into my boudoir. Welcome to my domain. This is where I love to live. This is where I do live. Eat, breathe. They can see us.
Over here is Bruce's area where he comes off stage and dries his face and drinks his hot coffee. Over here we have Adrian's guitar world. The band spends most of their time out here with the fans.
With just minutes to go until showtime, trouble comes. Rain.
It's just starting to sprinkle. You have 7 minutes from now.
Word of rain travels fast. The sudden shower spreads concern backstage.
It looks like it's going to stop, then just wait 5-10 minutes.
We get real bad nerves. We still do. I think the day you lose your nerve and you go out, you know, it's time to hang it up. You're doing it for the wrong reason.
Before you go on, there's certainly a surge of adrenaline.
All the little worries you have, you know, God, you know, I'm going to fall over and the guitar's going to not work. I don't know, stupid things.
You know, your heart's beating fast and you feel the blood circulating.
The dark imagery of bands like Maiden has often prompted the assumption that the message is sinister.
Heavy metal bands are often accused of, you know, encouraging aggression and violence, but to be honest, there's very little to suggest any of that is really true.
Then down and falls, comes down.
I mean, I think the key thing there is that you have to recognize heavy metal music as being art. And art has always explored things that we don't have an easy time understanding.
But it's done with a view towards storytelling and drama and a bit of dressing up going on, you know.
Most people perceive heavy metal to just be a bit of a racket. It's the complete opposite of the stuff that's #1 in the charts, but that's kind of the point.
I think people are quite surprised how melodious we are. And we are all about melody. And it's not just a load of old racket like some people would like to believe.
But I think what Iron Maiden recognizes when they get on stage is what happens on stage is directly related to what happens in front of them.
and they're a part of the show, you know. Big part of the show.
I quit.
The fans may play a crucial role, but an Iron Maiden show would not be complete without one particular guest appearance.
Eduardo.
The wonderful Edward.
That Eddie would be like probably the 7th member of Iron Maiden.
But they've always had this figure that can define the band. And the band can be regular guys.
Eddie is everything we don't want to be.
He's the most outrageous and biggest rock star there's ever been. And it's great because it means that we don't have to be.
In part 3, Dickinson reveals his view from behind the mask. It's the day after a major gig for rock band Iron Maiden, and there's no time to rest. It's straight back on the plane and to their next stop, Curitiba. As usual, fans find the band at every point of the journey, right to the tarmac. Even the airport staff want a piece of the action.
Take-off slot?
Yeah. Flight time, a very blistering 35 minutes.
News quickly spreads that the band are in town, and the fan chase resumes.
I have to say, a bit knackered today, because I didn't get a huge amount of sleep last night, because there's 3,000 punters outside the window playing loud Iron Maiden music, which is kind of ironic. This is bonkers. It's certainly one of the more innovative sites that I've ever seen for a venue. There's a lake which just leads me to go 25,000 Iron Maiden punters and a lake. Oh my God! What I'm looking for is basic sort of stuff for me, just to make sure I don't fall off. And it's actually just have to be quite careful because it's very narrow and there is no safety barriers. One song you can just about start the verse here and then you're round here. Up the top there, They are. When you're out here and sort of adrenaline surge takes over, a degree of fearlessness takes hold. I once asked one of my early sort of heroes, if you like, it was Ian Gillan, the singer from Deep Purple, and I sort of staggered up there. I said, what advice would you give? And he looked at me with half a bottle of whiskey in his hand and a big cigarette, and he goes, look him in the eye. Look him in the eye and don't take any crap. I went, you know, and actually, and I started doing it. And I went, right, yeah, none of this waving your hands in a grand gesture in some tiny little club and saying, hello, Los Angeles. It's no. Hello, Los Angeles. And the guy goes, me? And everybody else around him suddenly goes, him. He looked at him. Maybe look at me next. And suddenly their attention is focused and you've got them.
Back at the hotel, Murray and McBrain set off for their venue.
Drive you nuts, hey? I've had 2 days of stir craziness, I have, and him. At least I got out for dinner last night.
That's true, yeah. It's full of a 6-year-old.
When you just want some downtime, it's very difficult, you know. Hello.
Actually, I think a lot of people tend to think it's crazy and mad parties going on, but it tends to be kind of quiet, relaxed and calm, you know. So everyone's gathering their energy for the show that's going to be happening in a couple of hours, you know.
Before the gigs, very little preparation takes place. Of the 6 band members, just 2 warm up. McBrain.
So you come into my parlour, did you?
And Smith.
Start getting a little bit nervous about an hour before the show. You've got to try and keep your energy, you know.
It's all right, Jeff. It's just got to be the take you.
And so, after 33 years on the road and more than 2,000 gigs, once again for Iron Maiden, it's showtime.
The chemistry works very well. I mean, especially with three guitarists. I mean, you have three guitarists in a band, and how can you have three guitarists with no ego? You know, they call themselves the Tres Amigos, and I think that sort of says everything.
It's, you know, you have to look them in the eye with a fierce engagement, so they know that it's real. You know, that this is real, and this is not mucking about.
Mucking about, it certainly is not. It's not mainstream. It's niche, but for those who love it, it's everything.
And to be honest, I think that's probably entirely to Iron Maiden's advantage, that they're not a mainstream act. You know, that's why they've survived so long, because they haven't had to rely on the fluctuations of fashion.
The feeling you get on stage, it's hard to describe it.
It's a definite euphoria, and it's kind of a high that's really hard to match in other things in life, really.
You know, I'm like a different person when I get on stage. When I get off, I'm just a normal bloke, really, you know.
I sometimes wonder who it is up there, because it doesn't feel like me.
I'm pretty shy. I think, you know, always been like that, so that's me. But on stage, that's me as well. It's not like it's an act or anything.
But the truth is, the story with Iron Maiden is on the stage, and that's the way the audience want it, and actually that's the way we like it.
There's something in their insistence on sticking to what Maiden has always stood for. They haven't sold out in the eyes of the fans, and they've always given people something that they feel is true and honest. And so I think that's what's at the core of Iron Maiden.
For more on Iron Maiden, and to find out who's next on Revealed, go to our website.